Since the inception of the West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination, university requirement has largely called for 5 subjects. Mandatory among these are English language and mathematics. Every year, thousands of students run into the cause of either having to resit for not getting credits on English and mathematics or painfully changing career path owing to same. To help modify this narrative, Star Television presents on your screen Learning Garage, a platform that guarantees better performance in English language and mathematics with a team of experienced teachers. To this solution, you all are invited, especially those facing WASC. Learning Garage comes to you on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Repeat broadcasts are screened on Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. and on Sundays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Join host Ali Sonta Kamara.
If you mean such element, then of course we'll say the waters of the world in that regard.
And Babatunde Gaira Lamin on these days to make a world of difference.
Fraction that has a numerator which is less than the denominator, we term it as a proper fraction.
Hello there. Welcome to yet another edition of Learning Garage, this being the grammar segment. I am Sonta. Today we are continuing with verb or elements dealing with verb, of course. A verb is a kind of it's a part of speech that in fact has a number of components. So in our previous class we looked at a number of elements dealing with verb. Today we'll continue with yet another one again. Shall I say yes, a number of other topics dealing with verb, which I of course believe are so very essential if we strive to understand them. We'll begin with the expression it's time, it's about time, it's high time. So it's high time, it's about time, and of course it's time. So these are expressions, okay? They are of course referring to the future. They're referring to the future. It's about time, it's time. These are all very key. The key thing here has been the structure. When we use it's about time, it's high time, if we have a noun or a pronoun after these expressions, after it's time, after it's about time, after it's high time, if we have a noun or a pronoun after them, and the verb coming after these supposed to be in past tense. If we have a noun or pronoun after it's high time, it's about time, of course, we require, if we have a pronoun or noun after them, we require the verb coming supposed to be, taking the past form. Very, very essential like that. So we have a look here. It's time you left. You see here, this is the expression, it's time you left. And then here we have a pronoun after it's time. So the verb coming after the pronoun supposed to be in past tense. So you see, so it's time you left. It's talking about the future, okay? So the verb is in past tense. It will not be it's time you leave. No, it's time you left. Again, it's high time. It's high time is the expression. After it's high time, we have what? We have we, the pronoun. So the verb coming supposed to be in past tense. So we have what? It's high time we stopped doing it. So it's high time we stopped doing it. That's it. So this could be the first thing to understand about this expression. So when we use it's high time, it's about time. If we have a noun or a pronoun after any of these expression, then the verb coming supposed to be in past tense. That's very essential. Okay, but one key element, if we use it's time, if we don't have any noun or pronoun after it's time, then we use infinitive, or we use for plus a pronoun plus an infinitive. Again, remember the expressions are it's time, it's high time, it's about time. 3 expressions. It's time, it's high time, it's about time. I told you if we have a noun or a pronoun after any of these expressions, the verb coming supposed to be in past tense. That's one side. But if we only use its time, only its time, I don't talk about it's about time or it's I time. If we only use its time, and if we don't have a noun or pronoun after its time, then we'll use infinitive. This means we'll use to with any verb. If we don't have a noun or pronoun after its time, then we'll use to with any verb, and we'll of course bring about, either we use to with any verb or we'll use for, okay, which after that we have a pronoun. After that we require what? We require an infinitive. Let me go over this one again. If we use its time, and it happens that we don't have any noun or pronoun after this expression, then we'll use infinitive. This means we will use the word to, and we will of course allow a verb after to. That could be one thing. You see, so it could be it's time to go. See, it's time to go. So after it's time, we have to and we have go. So it's time to go. So if you don't have a noun or a pronoun after it's time, we'll use infinitive. So to go is infinitive. So it's time to speak. It's time to run. It's time to dance. It's time to laugh. Or we'll remove the infinitive and bring about for. We'll use for. After for, we'll bring about a pronoun, then we'll bring about the infinitive. So it's time for us to go. So it's time is the expression. For is, of course, the word I told you we should use. And of course, it's time for us. Us is a pronoun, and to go is the infinitive. So we have these three things. So in circumstances where in fact we don't have a noun or a pronoun after its time. Remember. So, but we have three expressions of the kind. We have it's time, it's about time, and it's I time. So if we have a noun or a pronoun after it's time, it's about time, it's I time, the verb coming supposed to be in past tense. But for its time, if we don't have a noun or a pronoun after it, then we will require that an infinitive be used. Or we will require that for plus a pronoun plus an infinitive be used after its time. Very, very essential. These three expressions refer to the future. Okay, so we have here example. It's time to leave. You see, we have here an infinitive after the expression it's time. It's time for us to leave. After it's time, we have for preposition. We have us here, the object pronoun. We have, of course, to leave, the infinitive stuff. Okay, then it's time again. It's time is the expression. For is the preposition. The student is a noun, kind of. A pronoun always, of course, takes the place of a noun. Where we will use noun, well, not all cases, but the work of a pronoun is to stand where, of course, a noun can. Okay, so what occupy the place of a noun. So it's time is the expression. For is the preposition. The student is a noun phrase in this case, and to hand in, this is what we refer to as phrasal verb. To hand in means to submit. Okay, so but they all conform to the usage. For is there. We have a component that of course acts as a noun, in this case a noun phrase, and we have the to particle, of course, and we have the verbal element after it all. So it's the correct way to use. So of course I go over them again. It's time, it's about time, it's I time. If we have a noun or a pronoun after these expressions, the verb coming supposed to be in past tense. Okay, the verb coming supposed to be in past tense. It's I time we asked them, or it's I time we left at once, or it's I time what? We went there. So it's I time is the expression, we is a pronoun, you see, went the verb. So I told you, if you have a noun or a pronoun after it's I time, it's about time, and it's time, we require the verb coming, take what? A past form. Very, very essential at that. So let's have a look at some questions on these expressions. So I suppose it's high time we dash attention to our studies. I suppose it's high time we dash attention to our studies. Okay, so it's a past question, June 2014. So now imagine here we have the expression it's high time. And after the expression we have what? We have a pronoun here. So by default, the verb coming here is supposed to be in past tense. Supposed to be in past tense. So of course we have it's high time here by rule, then we have a pronoun here, then of course, so A we have pay is wrong, it's in present tense. B we have are paying, is out of the case. D we have paid, D is C is fine, okay, because in past tense, and D we have should pay is out of the case. So I suppose it's high time we paid attention to our studies. You see? So of course C is our answer. We have waited for too long. It's high time we dash. Again, it's high time is here, it's expression. And of course, thankfully, we have a pronoun after it. So any verb coming here is supposed to be in past tense. June 2007. So we have here, I've left. No, we require a simple verb. Just a simple past tense. We don't require a present perfect tense. I've left is a present perfect tense. It's after the case. B we have leave. No, it's in present tense. C we have left. C is fine here. And of course D had left is past perfect tense. So we require simple past. So C is our answer. Isn't high time we dash? So here we have isn't high time, the expression being negated at that. Then we have the pronoun here. So any verb coming here as by rule supposed to be in past tense, simple past. So A we have isn't high time we what? We started eating is fine. B we have start eating is wrong. C we have started eating is wrong, is past perfect tense. D we have to start to eat is wrong. So our answer is what? Is option A. Isn't high time we started eating? That's the correct option. So we have a past tense after it. Then we have, a gerund, of course, is in place. Because start is a kind of verb. If we use it, we require a gerundive expression. We require an ing expression. He starts doing it. Okay? They start doing it. They start saying it. So when you use start, you require an ing element. But thankfully, start is in past tense here. So A is our answer. Okay, we proceed with another element, another component of our class today, and which is would rather. Would. W-O-U-L-D, would rather. W-O-U-L-D is not would, it's a word. The L is silent, so it's a word. Would rather. So would rather actually could mean prefer. I would rather go east than go west. Meaning I prefer, going east to going west, for instance. You see, so prefer, would rather could mean prefer. Okay? And then if we use, we could use a base form verb after would rather. Meaning if we use would rather, the verb coming after would rather is supposed to be in base form. Base form verb are like infinitive. They should take no S, no ing. They should not be in past tense. So it is either we have or either. It is either we have a base form verb after would rather, or what? Or we have a noun or a pronoun after would rather, wherein the verb coming after all these supposed to be in past tense, okay? Even though we are referring to the future. Very, very essential. Would rather could mean prefer, okay? If we could use a base form verb after would rather, if we have after would rather, we want to bring a verb, that verb supposed to be in base form. No S, no ing, no past tense, no to in front of, okay? Or we could what? Use a pronoun after would rather, or a noun after would rather. The verb coming after these two supposed to be in past tense. Okay? So, for example, we have here, I would rather consult a doctor. See, prefer consult. So, I would rather consult a doctor. You see, the expression is what is would rather, and just after would rather we have what? We have consult. So it's in infinitive. You see what? We would say the verb is in infinitive, or the verb what is in base form. No ing, no s, no past tense. like that, no to in front of it, like that. I would rather you left at once. So the expression is would rather, and we have here a pronoun. So we say if we have a pronoun or a noun after would rather, the verb coming supposed to be in past tense, and here we have left. See, I would rather you left at once, kind of. So we are talking about the future. So I would rather you didn't, and the expression has been would rather, and here we have a pronoun you. We have what? The verb is in past tense, didn't what? Speak so loudly, like that. So you see, we use would rather to talk about something in the future, and it could mean prefer. You see, I would rather you took it. I would rather you took it. You see, I would rather you, pronoun, took it. I prefer you, of course, take it, like that. So that's the reality. So, and let's have a past question on would rather, and let's put our understanding into context. So I would rather dash yourself. I would rather dash yourself, and the expression is would rather. It is either we have a pronoun after would rather, the verb coming after the to supposed to be in past tense, or we have a base form verb with no ing, no s, no no past tense, no to after it. Okay, so here we have I would rather you tell her yourself is wrong, because we have you after you, we require past tense, so A is wrong. B, I would rather you told her yourself. This is fine, because after you we have a past tense, thankfully speaking. And C, we have what? I would rather told. No. If we have a simple verb after rather, that verb supposed to be in base form, no past tense, no ing, no no to after it. Very very essential. So C is wrong. D, I would rather tell her yourself. No, it's wrong. The expression is wrong. So of course our answer is what? Is option B. So I rather you told her yourself. That's it. Now we turn our attention to other components of our class, and this time we are coming to look at modal verbs. Okay, the can, could, shall, should, may, might, ought to, need. Let's call them up. We call these ones modals. They are very very essentials. Modals are kind of verbs. They are one kind of helping verb. We have up to 4 kind of helping verb. We have verb to do, we have verb to be, we have verb to have, and we have modal verbs. They all help main verb to construct verb phrase. Remember our class on that. Okay, so modal verb is so special in a number of ways. It attracts infinitive. If you use a modal verb, the other verb coming should not take s, should not be in past tense, should not, of course, attract to. The verb coming after modals supposed to be bare infinitive, no s, no to, no ing, no past tense. Very essential. That's one thing. The other thing they do is that they have meanings. They transfer their meaning to the action verb, to the main verb. They modify the meaning of the main verb, giving it more. So modal verbs have a number of meanings. We have a number of them, and they have different meanings. And the meanings they have are what we have to understand. Because there are times we want to speak well, write well. That could be, we refer to it as proper English. Okay? So can, could, shall, should, may, might, ought to, you call them up, they are all what? They are all modals. And they have meanings of their own. They transfer these meanings onto what? The main verb, making the verb phrase at that. So we begin with the first one. We have can. Can has a number of meaning. We'll use can to express ability, something somebody is able to do. Don't use can with able again. It's able. I can able to do this, because being able to and can, of course, are expressing the same thing. Is this like you are repeating redundant? You are repeating the same thing again. So can, one among the ways we can use, or one among the ways we use can, is to express ability, something somebody somewhere is able to do. Okay, so imagine here, I can play basketball. Can mean ability. I have the ability to play basketball. I am able to play basketball. You know, she can lift the load. You see, she can lift the load in this circumstance, meaning she has the ability to do so. I mean, she is able to do so. That's one among the meaning. But we can also use can to express, to ask for permission, but in an informal context. In an informal context, we'll use can to ask for permission. Can I take your book? Can I go home? Can I have this pen? Can I sit by your side? So you will also this is like asking permission, but it's informal. You are not to use one in formal writing, in formal context, in a meeting where you have ministers and you are called upon to make a statement. You actually have to avoid using can. Say, can we do it? You are not to say, can we do it? You say, could we do it? You see, could we do it? Kind of. Because could and would are in fact very informal at that. So we can use can informally, of course, to ask permission. And again, we can use can to express possibility. Okay? To express possibility. He can be very serious. Children nowadays can be very unpredictable, meaning the possibility for children to be unpredictable nowadays is there. Possibility. So we can use can to express possibility. So nowadays can be unpredictable. We cannot predict them. It's a possibility kind of. So we use can not only to express ability, but we can use can to talk about seeking permission, or to even express something doing with possibility, like that. You see, these are the meaning you must have in mind when using can. But again, don't use can in a formal context, informal context, in meeting where you have people of higher caliber, in meeting, in writing where you are expecting the recipient to be of some kind, so you are to mind your words. Very essential at that. So we come down to could and would, the other kind of modal verbs. So they again have a number of uses, but the one use they share in common, the common ground would be that they could be used to express, to make polite request, kind of. You see, for instance here, could you or would you? It could be that could you or would you? Could you or would you open the window, please? It is very formal. Could you open the window, please? Or would you open the window, please? So, but informally, if I'm talking to my friend, I will say, can you open the window, please? Kind of. You see, that could be polite, but in an informal context. In a formal context, you will say could or would to make, request. Tag as polite at that. So, could you open the window, please? Or would you? So, would, could, would and could. Would you open the window, please? Or could you open the window, please? That's the reality about what in fact is. So the past tense for can could be again could. The past tense for will could be again would. But okay, in another context. But the meaning they set out to express are of course very, very different, as I've given you now. So we proceed on to the modal may.